What's up? We're back. Episode 19, the Enlisted Real Estate Podcast. We got the one and only Mr. Brian Baker.
What's up?
I am Richie Fortunato, and we're here to talk about a little personal home shopping I did and the process that I went through.
Let's get personal. I like it.
I sold a lot of houses in my day, but I sold a lot of brand new houses, but I never actually bought one.
Right.
I'm on the other side, and it's different.
It's a little bit different, right?
Yeah, when I bought my first house, it was a resale.
Yep. And I remember when you bought that house, and you renovated the crap out of that thing, man.
Yeah, but that was like buying a resale and buying a new home is
totally
very
different.
100%. Selling a resale is very different.
Yep.
I couldn't imagine. I got new respect for general realtors because I don't understand why they do it. It's too much work. There's a lot of work, and there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. So it's like,
yeah. But there's a ton of stuff that can go wrong in a new construction build too,
Not like the biggest thing, like new and used, is the inspection. So like,
yeah,
you don't have to worry about inspections because everything's brand new,
True.
You do your walkthrough in a new home, but you're not having to repair roofs or
you're not
we
finding
need to
lead paint, bad
the pool,
Exactly. Yeah. Leaks in a pool, resurfacing the decking, and there's a lot of stuff that you find on a resale for sure. New homes, you're right. You don't have to find it. So so let's talk about, kind of talk about what you have been going through. I know you touched on it a little bit. So, but you listed a home, selling it, you're looking to buy, what's the thought process, coming from selling new construction to buying new construction, you've got a totally different perspective.
Yeah. So we found out we were having a baby, so we needed more space, right? So I was talking to a realtor, a buddy I know, and he was telling me about this house he's buying. So I look at his floor plan. I'm like, oh man, it's really nice. It'd be nice to have all this room. So I started looking on my own at different places, and I found one I liked. So it was a Pulte house, and so I call Brad.
Okay.
Brad Doyle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey man, what do you know about this house and this community? So he calls up the salespeople out there, and they're like, oh man, it's sold out. And I'm like, that sucks. The floor plan was awesome. So they didn't build it, and I'm trying to stay in a certain area, and they didn't build that house anywhere else in that area. So I start, branching out, different builders.
Yeah.
And I found one of the girls I work with, her husband works for a builder. It's a brand new community. And we talked about another one's buying in a brand new community or buying at the end,
Yeah.
So this community is literally brand new. They're just leveling all the space. You can see how big this whole area is going to be. So look at the floor plan. They had one, loved it. Went and looked at. They were building the similar version down the street. So went and looked at it, and I'm like, oh man, we got to have this. And then they had a lot that we just loved. The lot was the main thing actually, over the house.
Nice. So you got a good lot then.
Yeah, because we work in these communities, and the houses are so close together. And when my house was an older house, so we had more space between the homes. The lots were wider. So I can't go from. It was going to be tough for me,
It's hard to find a good lot like that.
Yeah. So I found this pie-shaped lot. It's on the water. So it's really wide. It's 90 feet wide in the back.
Sweet.
And we have to have a pool, so we need a space for a pool. So we're all right. So we start thinking about it. Do we do this? We sell our house and then build one. And so there's a couple options you can do. We could have waited to sell our house at the end, right? Or get closer. And you take the risk of losing your deposits and your house doesn't sell, or you have to see if you can qualify for two and carrying two mortgages. Mm-hmm. I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. So I was like, I'll just sell it. I don't want to worry about it. So I call a buddy. He's a broker, And I was going to do it myself because we sell houses, right?
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
what's harder going to be? So I call him. I'm like,
So
hey.
did you call a good agent? Or did you call one of the, ones who don't really do a lot of business?
No. He's good. So his name was Justin Picard.
There you go. I was trying to give you the here. Let's give a shout out real quick.
Yeah. No, man, he's good. He's it's funny. I like what he does. He does a lot of
he's got good
media,
marketing.
a lot of video. His videos I love.
Yeah.
And he's just branched out on his own. He was with the broker and he started his own thing.
Oh, good for him. That's cool.
Yeah. So I call him up and I'm like, hey. I'm like, will you do like a flat fee? I just need it in MLS, right? And I'll do all the work.
Limited listing, yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, no problem. He goes, you know what? He goes, I can make some videos. If you want to use my photographer, I'll send him out and send you the bill. And we'll take care of it. So I'm like, all right, cool. Because, it helps. He can list it. He put his sign out. He does his videos. He does the marketing. He'll get some leads from it.
Yep.
And then, and since he listed it, it's like, he sold it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I bought my new house, I put him on because the builder wouldn't give me my 3%, which made me mad. Yeah. So he's like,
why?
Oh, I don't know. It was pissing me off. So I put
so
him
they're
on
not going to give it to
then,
you. So you're going to go, okay, here's my realtor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he kept some, pretty much just to pay taxes and whatever else. And then I took the rest. So you got kind of double in the deal. So he makes the videos and everything. Where was I going with this? Oh,
you
so
tell me. You're telling the story.
Dude, he makes the videos. He's he puts the lockbox on. Then he starts scheduling all these appointments. We literally had appointments that day. It was listed. He did all the work. He negotiated the whole thing. He's like going back and forth. I'm like, dude, I was supposed to do all the work. So I'm like, no, I'm feeling bad because he's only getting $1,000 and he's doing everything. But he's like, I'm not trying to make any money off you. So, but so we're going through it. The showing your house is a pain in the butt, man. I didn't realize how annoying it is to show your house constantly. And a lot of these people want to be last minute. Hey, can you show your house in about an hour? And you have to pack, especially with kids and dogs, you have to pack everybody up, drive around, find something to do.
Yep.
So we had a lot of showings really fast. We sold the house in 6 days.
Oh, that's awesome. It's
Yeah.
quick. Yeah.
So now you
hot.
I know. And then the problem is you have to find, the house takes 8 months to build.
Mm-hmm.
So
what are you going to do in the middle? Because that's always the, do I sell it now and try to find a place to live? What's the plan for you guys now?
No, we rented a townhouse.
Okay.
So found a rental. We found a couple. I can be the hardest the rental place. Before I bought a house, we always rented, apartments or whatever.
Yeah.
It's easy. You walk in, you sign the lease, and that's it. Man, we were trying to gauntlet. Oh, we were trying to rent this house in Harmony because all our family lives out there.
Yeah.
And it was a nice house. I did the application, you pay the money, and then you don't hear anything. And then for us, it's kind of hard because so rental, they want 3 months of, your income must be 3 times the monthly rent, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you show them a pay stub. Well, if you don't have a closing the month before you turn your pay stub, it looks like you make no money.
Yeah.
So I'm like, will you guys take a W-2? And they're like, no. I'm like, but you do know, we're in the same business. You're a realtor.
Yeah.
I'm a real estate. If you don't have a closing.
Right.
It doesn't look like you make any money, but next month, I'm selling my house.
Yeah.
I want to make the money on this house.
You make no money this month and you made $100,000 next month. But you don't qualify. Sorry.
Exactly. So it literally took 2 weeks. We kept with the same place for some reason. We looked at a couple other ones in between, and then we got so fed up. We started looking again, and then there was a broker I know. She had this townhouse for rent, so I called her up. I told her the situation. I'm like, I'm building a house. It was just temporary. She goes, yeah, no problem. She goes, if you want to rent this, let me know the process, like how far along you are. Like when you're going to close, give me enough notice. I'll get somebody else in before, and then that way it won't cost you anything like to break the rent or anything like that.
Right.
Or like, oh, cool. So as I fill out the application and pay it, I get a call from the other house. Like, oh, you've been approved. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
So then I just paid another application. I'm like, whatever, I'm done.
What's the application fees costing now?
One was like $100, and then the second one they didn't charge me for 2 applications. It was just one, so it was like 65.
Yeah, not terrible, but
that's the thing about if you have a house to sell and you sell right away, you got to move twice.
Yep. That's a lot less stressful for sure. Yeah, so it definitely, renting is part of the process, and I think I agree with you. I would prefer to, like right now with the market being super hot, and you put something on the market and it's selling because there's so much active buyers out there in a limited inventory is the word I'm trying to think of. Because if you do think about it in 8 months, I mean, like how much can change in 8 months? If I go to sell my home in 6, 7, 8 months, and the market's completely flipped, and now I'm stuck, that ain't worth it to me. I'd rather put up with the pain and move in and just kind of live light for 6 months and then go live in my house for the next, 20 years or whatever it is. You know what I mean? It seems like a small price to pay for the bigger picture. Yeah.
It's temporary.
It's temporary. Yeah. And maybe it's because you and I were military and like we lived in, tiny little bags for how long, so like it doesn't bother me as much, but like that's the biggest complaint I get is, oh, I don't want to move twice. It's like, okay, so how do you want to risk it? You want to hold 2 mortgages? You want to, risk the deposit? The market's good now. Maybe it's not going to be in 3 months. I don't know. That's a big risk that I would think let's just sell it. Let's get it done with, so, but I don't know. So what do you, tell me about, let's talk about the process, right? So you're looking to buy a home. Okay. Yeah. It's a different builder. So like the processes are going to be a little bit different with other builders, right? So like there's common, scenarios and everything, but it's a little bit different. But you've also got a totally different perspective, coming in it from knowing the backside. So I mean, like, how was that process of, going through the search and decision making, and then the purchase itself, the contract?
So the search, so Ginger and I, like, we know what we like, right? So we look. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people just go on the internet. The people that walk in the door and I'm like, what are you looking for? Like, I have no idea.
Yes.
But how do you not know what you want?
Yeah, right? I know.
We'll know when we see it.
Mm-hmm. They're the ones who are looking for 2 years, though.
Yeah. So we know, we did so much looking. I know it's funny. I don't know how much she did, but I knew I was checking everything. And there's certain floor plans, like being in the business, we can read floor plans, right? So you have a pretty good idea of the flow and everything. So once I saw it's called the ball. So once I saw the ball, I just knew it was going to be nice. And then you can see all the virtual tours online. And the funny thing is the living room, it's a 2-story living room. Once I saw that and I knew I could have it, I couldn't go back.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So all the other ones I liked before, but that didn't have it, I'm like, oh no.
Those are cool, man. They make it so grand,
Yes.
Like I like that. Yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna say, it's, you weigh that, like, do I want that grand ceiling or do I want that space? Like, do I want the square footage? And I don't know. That's a tough one, man.
So then I'm on the community and I'm thinking about it. So the funny thing is I'm thinking about this community, thinking about the floor plan and everything. In the area, it was a little bit further south than I want to be, but I was like, it'll be okay. All our family's out there. Like, it's not that far. It's literally like 10 minutes south of Lake Nona, off of Narcoossee. So I go and see our land department. I'm like, what do you think about this area? And they're like, oh, we're looking at some land out there. It's going to be huge. I'm like, really? So I'm like, all right. And then I go talk to the division president, and I'm like, are you guys buying any land out? Are we actually buying land out here? He's like, yeah, we're going to be buying like 600 lots. He goes, nice. That area you're looking at is going to be the next Horizons West. I'm like, oh.
There you go. I've heard it for a while, so
yeah,
I don't doubt that one bit.
So I'm like, okay, well, one, I want that community. And then he goes, it's gonna be 600 lots, but we might be splitting with somebody else. I'm like, nope, keep it all.
Yeah.
I want it all.
That's always our thought, right? Like keep it all. Why, don't split it. I'm good. I got it.
Oh, I remember when they stole those little lots of Lennar in Orchard Hills. I was so pissed.
Dude, I know. And then they just
because it's literally like taking money in your pocket too.
They are. I know. It killed me.
Oh, but so I'm like, okay. And then I started looking it up. I'm like, all right, it's gonna be huge. And then literally, like, you imagine buying a Horizons West, and you're like house number 20. That's what this is.
Yes.
So like, I can't pass this up.
Dude, and it's not that bad. You know, like when I bought 7 years ago, the community, you know, there's 2,500 homes in my community. We had no idea what that really meant, how big that was. But we were like the 20th home in there. Had no idea how big it was. But, you know, construction, it really wasn't that big of a deal, you know. So now I try to tell everybody that. I
think the price is going to go up so much, I think, because the house is, so the house is like almost 3,600 feet.
Oh, dude, that's big.
Yeah. And
it's like 3 times the size of the house you just left, isn't it?
Oh, no, it's not that. The house I left was 2,200. But yeah, it's a good area. It's a good spot, I think. Cool. So I think the values would go up a lot. So, but when we're looking at everything, so I got some inside info first.
Yeah.
Which most people can't do.
True.
And then my listing they can do their own research. Or listen to the salespeople, which a lot of times they just think we're selling to them, but we're telling them the truth.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
So we had that. We had the lot was the biggest thing though. Like, we have to have this lot because I'm not going into like an interior lot. So we got the lot, and I was talking to Rick out there. I'm like, dude, I want this lot. And I actually went on their website first, and they had the site map, and there was a different one I was interested in. And so I went out there, and I'm like, oh, it's not good because there wasn't enough. It looked like it was on water, but there was really no water view. And we walked into one they were under construction, and as soon as you walk in, you can see the water. I'm like, oh. So I got the one right next to that, which is still a pie shape. It's like 90 feet wide.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want space for a pool and enough room for Declan and everything. So I tell him, I'm texting him, like, I want this lot in this house. And then literally, and he held it for me for like 2 weeks maybe, because I was thinking there's other things that we're thinking about doing. Maybe just buying some land and building a custom home. Mm-hmm. There was like 5 acres, 10 acres of Mount Dora that we're looking at between me and Newly, and we were going to split it, but they wouldn't let us split it up and build multiple houses, so that was out. Yeah. So we ended up doing it. Contract, he gave me the list. So he gave me all the structural options I needed to pick from. Right. I picked them all the ones we wanted, and it was all DocuSign, so it was really easy.
Yeah.
For all the contracts are the same.
Yeah. I mean, the verbiage is ever so slightly different, but yeah.
Yeah. So then you pick all your structural options, make a deposit. That's it. And then knowing no changes after. No structural changes after contract. I was that guy about 2 weeks after the contract. Like, hey, can I change? Can I add the flex room?
You were that guy, Richie. What?
I already knew the answer.
Come on, you know better.
I know the answer already.
I know.
But then it's funny because you're like, oh, he was not. I asked, and I felt bad because his wife was telling me that like he felt bad, like he was scared to tell me no. Because I know how I can be. I'm like Rick. It's only been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, I asked everybody, my VP, structure manager, they said it was already submitted for permits. So I'm going on the fast track, right? I can look this stuff up.
In 2 weeks. That's quick.
I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, Rick, somebody lied to you because it's not in permitting.
Oh, poor Rick.
It's fine. I mean,
yeah. I was gonna say that's fast.
It's hard to decide because it was like a tandem 3-car garage, so you can turn that tandem part into like a flex room, which is going to be Ginger's workout, like a gym.
Okay.
Instead of working out in the garage, But
dude, I've been working out in my garage. It's hot, man.
What'd you Well, it's a garage.
You went with a
But I
garage.
know in the future we're going to need that space for storage.
I can see that. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, the house, we don't need, how much more room do you need in a house? I don't need 4,000 feet.
That's big, man. Makes you think of the Wilson floor? That thing was like what, 4,600 square feet, almost 5,000 or something. I think it was massive. Well, it was 5,000, wasn't it? It was 49 something. Yeah, dude, that was a big house.
So a buddy of mine, I sold a house to him in Orchard Hills. He owns a Wilson.
Yeah.
And he just got into bourbon. And he's like, I need a place he's buying all these bottles. And he's like, I need a place to display them. I'm like, we have 5,000 square feet. I'm sure you can find that.
He's got like a double loft area. Yeah.
You have an office, you have a media room, you have a game room, and you have a loft. Like,
yes.
Pick one.
Pick one. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Dude, that would be a cool house. I'd go with that one.
The Wilson? I think it's huge, man.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to clean it though, man.
You pay somebody.
I know. Well, I was paying somebody, and then they were becoming too reliant in the household on, well, the cleaners will get it. And I'm like, no. It doesn't work like that. So I called and canceled it and be like, you're going to learn how to pick up your shoes. There's no way I'm paying all this money for somebody to come pick up your shoes and move them to the back door. Like, you can't do that. Oh, yeah. It drives me nuts.
So it was funny because as we're building, my mom calls me and she's like, yeah, we're looking at building a house. They want to move. So they live like in a 55 plus community in Oak Hill in like New Smyrna. And it's all like manufactured homes.
Okay.
So like too many hurricanes, the neighborhood, the developer, we're not sure about them. So they were looking at buying a house in like Daytona or something. It was a new home. It was a ICI home. And like, so Glenn, my stepdad, he's like, is there anything I can negotiate? I'm like, man, I don't know how it is in Daytona, but here, no.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
If you're building a house, it is what it is. Yeah. We're selling too many too fast, and we're getting shortages and all this other stuff, so they're not going to negotiate anything.
Yeah.
So, and I start telling them, I'm like, so they go see the model, and they were the people who thought what the model, like what you see is what you get. I'm like, Mom,
are you not listening to our podcast?
like, seriously, I'm like, okay, hey, I know you don't listen to me. I'm like, I was like, and that's how we trick you. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they make it look good, like they're not going to try to put not that the bare minimum doesn't look good, but is the bare minimum going to sell something as fast as, top of the line, right? So
I go online and I'm looking at the floor plan, and I already knew what it was because it was one of the models. So it's most people go over the model, and I'm looking at all the options. I'm like, are you going to do this option and this option and this and this and this and this? And she's like, those are all options. I'm like, yeah, Laura. She's all, and then she started getting nervous, right? So this is going to be too much for me. I don't know if I can handle it. I'm like, I'm like, it's fine, right? Just pick what you want,
Yeah.
Just keep your budget and pick what you want. And there's things you want to get, things you don't want to get with us. So I was like, but listen, ask the person for the cost of all these options first before you do anything. They wouldn't give it to them.
It's hard though. I mean, our catalog, we have such a big catalog. They used to have something, but prices change all the time. You know what I mean? Like,
if somebody asks you for it, you can email them.
I can price them out something. Absolutely. Yeah. And we do.
They wouldn't do it unless they went under contract.
Oh, that's different. No, yeah. I mean, I totally understand. Like you want an idea of like, what's this really going to be, I mean, I don't have the ability, like they used to do it, but it used to be like 50 plus pages of just the catalog, and it was every single option. And half the people didn't even know what does that even mean, and you'd have to go, take the item number and go Google it and then see what that is and go, oh, okay. And I mean, when you're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of items, it was useless. Like people weren't able to utilize it. So they cut it out, but definitely understand wanting an idea, where you're going to be. Yeah.
Because we did it, it's like, send me all your, so he set me up with a preview at their design studio. Nice. And so their preview is 101. Like you have to schedule it.
Yep.
They don't do an open night or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So she gives me this book, right? And I'm sitting there pricing it all. And, you know, we go look at everything. And here's another thing that annoys me. Like, so working in it, we all pretty much use the same material, right?
Yes.
So it's all like shaw floors and, you know, same countertop, like LG quartz and Cambria countertops or whatever. So I'm getting their prices. I'm like, and then it started just now. I'm like, why is it so much more expensive here?
Well, I know who you're building with. So, and I know I've heard from pretty much everybody who's ever bought there that their design is expensive. I mean, they're definitely more pricey than a lot of the other ones.
Yeah. Oh, then I tried to negotiate too.
Did you really?
Well, so here's what I did. Okay. Because so what they did, their promo at the time was like, it was 10,000 flexed, right?
Okay.
That was it. So he did give me half off of the lot. The lot premium was 20, so I got half. And then he gave me 10,000 flex, right? So I didn't need the closing cost money. So most people are going to put the 10,000 towards closing costs, right? Because it's money I deposit. Well, I didn't need it all because I'm getting I'm getting most of the 3% back, which is going to cover most of my closing costs. So I'm going to take. So I'm like, how about this? Instead of for a builder, $10,000 is $10,000 towards closing costs, right?
Towards closing costs, right?
The closing costs is dollar for dollar.
Yes.
I'm like, how about this? Instead of $10,000 to use at the design studio, how about I get half off of $40,000 at the design studio, right? So now you have to spend it to get it. So it's only like an extra $10,000, right? But it probably only really cost them about $14,000 or so.
I was gonna say it won't even cost them, you know.
Yeah.
And they're, you know, not throwing the name out there, but I know their option margins have to be much higher than what I've typically seen.
Oh.
That or they're just not having they don't have any deals. You know what I mean? They don't get any rebates for, you know, working with these companies. I don't know. Maybe they're getting overcharged.
And it sucks that I don't know like their manager or anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
I was so they're like, and Rick's like, he felt bad. He's like, no, they won't do it, man. I'm like, how about half off at 36,000, right? Because that should be about equal.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Because if he's 36, it's only costs it's 18,000, and then
instead of the closing cost.
Yeah, instead of the closing cost. So it's equal. Like the $10,000 for closing costs is probably about I said 30. Or say 36.
Yeah.
So that would have been 18, right? Yeah.
18. Yeah.
It would be very close to equaling out to the same amount, dollar for dollar wise.
Yeah, absolutely.
They wouldn't do it. I'm like, you're freaking kidding. I'm so mad. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me. So, whatever. So I didn't get anything extra. Well, besides the lot. But
you know what you should do? Take the 10K, put it towards closing costs, make them pay dollar for dollar on that. Let Justin just take that full commission, you know what I mean? And then he can pay you on the side, and after he pays his taxes. Yeah. Stick it to him. It's a principle on that one. You know what I mean? It's a principality. I like it. That make them pay dollar for dollar. Be like, listen, I could have saved you money actually.
I know. That's what I tried to say. I wish I would have known like somebody to talk to.
Should have talked to me.
You don't know the people there?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'll still call people.
I know. Well, I called Teresa. I'm like, you know anybody? You know the VP or anybody there?
I know a couple people over there. I could have made a couple phone calls and maybe found a route for you, but I don't know. She didn't know anybody?
Yeah, she did. I'm like, yeah.
Still didn't help?
Make a phone call for me, would you?
Yeah, no kidding. Teresa, you know how far back we go? Come on. Yeah. So it's been pretty good though. I mean, as far as the process goes, you know, I mean,
yeah. So I'm finding myself, I have to like, you know, I know it's not going to be done until like February, you know? So it's like, a lot of people don't realize, you tell people it's an 8-month process, right? And then, but the question, as soon as they sign, the next question is, well, when's my house going to start?
Yeah.
3 months. It's just 3 months. From contract to start, figure 3 months. You're not going to see anything. So we go to our design studio preview on the 18th, or our design appointment. They do 2 design appointments. So we got the 18th and the 20th.
But you've already done the preview. So, I mean, how long do they give you at the preview?
It's 3 hours each one, or 3 or 4 hours for each one. But we say like, we're quick. We know, hopefully we can do it all in one, because we know what we like.
Yeah.
So we're not, you know,
especially with the preview.
We'd go to the store and like, oh, we want that and that and that and that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially through the preview, I mean, you know where they got now, and you work the pricings out. I mean, you know where that's at. So that always helps. You know, if you can go to the preview night, it makes a big difference. You know, it's like, especially for somebody who doesn't, you know, I'll know it when I see it type deal, you know, like it's overwhelming for them. Yeah. Go to the preview, or just tell me what kind of colors you like, and let's let my design reps pick it out for you. You know what I mean? That way it comes out good. So, but what do you think as far as insightfulness? You know what I mean? So any, you know, big, you know, ahas that you're realizing, just kind of looking at it from that side of the purchasing versus the selling side of new construction?
The not knowing. So like when we sell it, we know, like when people walk in to see the model, like they like my model, right? Mm-hmm. They like this Margate model, and they see it all done. And you have the base price, and you have to add the lot and all the grades. So like, what's it actually going to cost me? And we tell them, you know, most people spend around $355. Mm-hmm. Right? To us, that should be good enough for you to know. Yeah. Right?
I mean, you'll be plus or minus. Yeah.
Yeah. Like everyone spends about the same amount. You know?
It's all very, very close. Yes.
Yeah. But I'm like, man, I keep going over I'm like pricing out. Like I'm literally like that spreadsheet guy right now with like the level 3 flooring, level 2 flooring.
That's funny, man.
If I do this countertop and this flooring, or if I can do, you know, like I'm trying to keep a budget this time. I didn't do that when I renovated the house. So this time I'm trying to keep a budget. So
photo bomb.
I know. So that's a big thing. And then selling a house. Selling a used home, going through the inspections, the inspectors, some of the stuff they come back with blows my mind. Like, I know. Are you trying to justify why somebody's paying you $450?
Yes, 100%. 100%. 100%. Like when you get like, oh, hey, you should probably, there's a little mark on the drywall, just needs a little paint touch up. And you're like, I mean, is that a deal breaker? You know what I mean? Is the home going to fall apart? I can't believe when I see those on those reports. But
so they got the people that bought it, they got their inspection, and then they started asking for things. Some of the stuff I knew was going to come up, like the roof. The roof is 15 years old, right? They had the pool had like some stains. I mean, the pool's older, so it has like stains from the sun and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then the siding on one of the parts, some of the siding needed to be replaced. It was old siding. Mm-hmm. And so they came back and they wanted like everything fixed, right? Like, no, they wanted the pool resurfaced. I'm like, no, that's like a cosmetic thing, first of all.
It's called, right? Yeah. Unless you get cracks and leaks and stuff like that. I mean, it's not necessary, you know. That's a huge expense. And that goes into the valuation of the sale price anyways. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know, if that was brand new and the roof was brand new and, you know, say the siding was absolutely, you know, pristine, you know, whatever you sold it for or listed it for, you probably would have listed it another $20K more, you know what I mean? Whatever that may be. So, you know, that was taken into account, you know, for valuation, but.
Well, then then I'm like, all right. And at the time it was like the only offer we had. So I actually went and got quotes for all the stuff replaced. Mm-hmm. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, man, how much money do we have to give them? And then we get another offer, a higher offer, right? So like, oh, no, I don't have to do it. I'm like, listen, you can take it as is, or I'm taking the higher offer.
Yeah.
On the inside, I'm like, I didn't want to take the higher. I mean, it's not, like when you get a higher offer, it always sounds good, right? So you have one at like 419, you have one at 424. 419 is like a conventional loan with 20% down. 424, which sounded good. Well, it was the people were actually in the business, the construction business. He owned a roofing company. He's like, I don't care about anything. I'll just fix it all, take it as is. But it was a VA loan.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the VA appraiser.
I agree.
They always appraise it low.
Always. Because I feel like they're trying to do the veteran a favor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let me help this veteran out.
Yeah.
It's always low. Well, not
When
always, but
yeah.
90% I feel like it's low.
Yeah. When I bought the house originally, it was appraised. They appraised it like it was like $16,000 off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine, it didn't really do me a favor because mine came in $7,500 low, and I ended up having to come to the table an extra $7,500, or I had to walk away and have literally nowhere to go. Yeah. So I was like, thanks for helping me out on that one.
Yeah. So I didn't have to replace anything. Thank goodness.
That's cool. Yeah. Did you go with the higher one, or did you go with the
lower one?
Lower one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. And then you get, I mean, that's something, when you think about like resale, you're looking at earnest, what are they giving for earnest deposits? What's their inspection periods? What's, what kind of loan is it? Are they USDA loans? Like, not that those aren't good, if that's how you got to buy a home, then, all power to you. But, if you've got multiple offers on the table and you have zero cash, which is why, the USDAs are so beneficial for some, I'm probably going to go with the conventional loan, even if you offered me more, so you got to look at the strength of the buyers. But yeah, so that's cool that you got past that part, got it sold. So
the moving out sucks though.
Yeah. Did you already move out yet?
Yeah, man, we moved out.
I figured, yeah.
Moved in and...
Yeah. I didn't know how long they were waiting to move in and everything. How long ago did you close?
We closed on the 31st.
Oh, it's been that long? Oh, geez. Yeah. Shame on me. I'm sorry.
I didn't realize how expensive movers are. God.
Yeah?
Dude.
How much did they... Oh, yeah. It took a while. What'd they charge you?
After everything, it was like $1,500.
Really? When I moved out of a 3-bedroom apartment condo, 1,500 square footish, into this 2-story that I'm at now, and cost me maybe $500 with tip.
I don't know why it took so long. It took long. It was all day.
Yeah.
When I called the lady, she's like, "Oh," I told her how big everything. She's like, "I'll take 2 guys about 3 hours." I'm like, all right, cool. It took 11 hours. It was exhausted.
Yeah, that's funny. Cool.
But yeah, so now we're just waiting for the house to start.
Heck yeah.
Like everybody else.
I know. Listen, you need to get out there, just start raking the lot, railing it up. You just start doing the work yourself, speed it up.
I don't feel bad for the builder I get.
Oh, man. I didn't even think about that. That poor guy. I'm going to send him a card.
I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to hey, can we throw some of this up here,
Oh, yeah. All right. You're that guy, Yeah. Hey, can I do my own wiring? Can I lay my own flooring?
Hey, the flooring, no. But the wiring, some of it, that's what happens on the weekends after the electrical inspection.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you. I get that question all the time. Hey, can I just bring in my own flooring and I'll do the install and everything? You guys you warranty it. It's fine. But no, don't think I can do that. Sorry. So, yeah.
But it's cool. I knew everything I wanted to do. With the outdoor, the lanai. A lot of people don't add lights or fans or anything to lanai. Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff. Extra outlets in the garage.
Yeah. See, I think that's a big benefit that we have is I know especially if I built one of my floor plans here, I know exactly what I'm adding, electrical, structural. I mean, I know to the T, what my next home has to have. It's, and I think that gives us a little bit of advantage on that buying side too. I mean, I try to tell people and, hey, I think about this and that. And then when they don't take my suggestions, I just shake my head. No, I'm just kidding.
One of the things that was funny, because Jinker has to have a tub. So their tub, it was to put a tub as the option, it was $4,000, right? when you hear it, it's like, why the hell is the tub is $4,000?
Freestanding?
Right? No, it's just a built-in tub. I had the freestanding was like another $2,600. So I'm looking at it, and you're telling me like he's like, yeah, it's 4,000. At first, I'm like, man, that seems like a lot. He's like, yeah. He doesn't say anything else. So I'm looking at the floor plan the way it comes in the other way. When you add the tub, you get an extra window. Right? So you have these 2 big windows. It encloses the toilet doesn't come enclosed, so it encloses the toilet. And then you need like tile and all this other stuff. So like it's not that much, because if you enclose like the toilet, it was like $800. If you add a window, it was like $700.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you add those tubs, I guess one thing that people don't realize is it does put a much larger window. And windows aren't cheap; they're expensive. Yeah. So I mean that's a pretty big cost.
So it's like some of the stuff you justify.
Yeah, a little bit for sure.
Like we added 2 sliders.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
2 sliders. Oh, yeah. I can see where that.
So like there's a corner. So you have like the kitchen, and then you have the 2-story foyer, and then to the right of the kitchen is like this dining area. So you can add a slider. It's an 8x8 slider where the dining area is, and then a 9x8 slider, like a triple slider in the living room.
Nice.
But it's like kind of they meet at a corner, so it's like all windows.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Especially with the water view.
Yeah, and the pool.
Heck yeah. Listen, stay tuned. We're going to we're gonna start recording at Richie's place. I like it. Cool. All right, man. Well, let's wrap this one up, and we'll follow up. I want to follow up with you on this and kind of see how the process is going, and we'll ask you along the way and see how the thoughts are changing and how your perspective changes on the sales side. Yeah. You know, maybe the heart grows a little bit more for our customers.
It does. Like when people are like, oh, can I make this change after a contract? I'm always like, no,
like, absolutely not. Yeah.
I understand.
You're going to start asking a lot more, I think, than you used to.
Yeah. I literally got one. Somebody's like, can I add a butler pantry and these railings? And already, the railings is no big deal, actually. Mm-hmm. The butler pantry, I already knew the answer, but I asked anyways. Mm-hmm. And Dana's like, you know better than this. I'm like, I know, Dana, but I understand where she's coming from.
Yes, but now I totally feel, okay? You know, we're on the same wavelength here. Cool. All right, guys. Right, well, follow us, share this out with friends, and stay tuned for episode 20.
Oh, the Enlisted Real Estate Podcast. Check us out wherever you're streaming your podcast.
Absolutely.
Check out Brian's sexy face on YouTube.